Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Aggie Pridecast. It has been a couple of months since we have been with you, but we are happy and thrilled to be back on the air, bringing you Aggie Athletics, bringing you some of our personalities in Aggie Athletics. And this is a special night for us, special Valentine's night. We got a little love in the air. We got our head women's bowling coach, Kim Terrell Kearney, and her husband, her assistant coach, also Eric Kearney. He is a North Carolina A&T Aggie, if you were wondering. We also have with us reigning two-time MEAC Bowler of the Year, Melanie Caton. She just recently started working with us, and she's going to join us here on the Pridecast. And she got a couple of tough questions for the head coach tonight. So we'll get into that a little bit. And then, of course, I call her my right arm, Shamaya Tatum is with us. She'll give us a little this or that a little later on. But let's get started with Kim Terrell Kearney and her husband and Coach Kearney. Just kind of break down the season so far, just kind of how things have gone for the fourth-ranked North Carolina A&T Aggies, fourth-ranked team in the country. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, I feel like this year is been a bit of a continuation from last year. We didn't have a lot of change in our, on our roster. So we are, I feel like, only better. Each week I'm convinced that, I hope Mel agrees, that we're getting better, we're getting smarter. The season started out well. We started out with a win at Tulane at their Invitational, which was a pretty strong field. And then it's just sort of kind of continued at that. We played at a pretty high level, I think, all year. And so we're just gearing up to be incredible during the postseason, which is only about a month away. I think it's coming up quick.
No question about it. And you've had a couple of 300 games, which, I don't know, I might be wrong about this, but in my estimation, that's like no-hitter type stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of rare to kind of see the perfect game. It's kind of rare to see a no-hitter. And I'm thinking we got one of our 300 bowlers right here with us on the Pridecast here. But we'll talk about that a little bit. You've got two bowlers on your team that have bowled 300s, and I think they've all done it within a year time or something like that. So talk about just how amazing that is that your team has been able to accomplish that.
Yeah, I mean, bowling being sort of a game of repeatability, that's what we work on each week, just trying to find a way to get from A to B the same way and get it off your hand the right way. And then, these guys are just such serious competitors. Like, they're all about being their best every time they put their shoes on. And so it usually doesn't take much from us during the event. We try and point them in the right direction, get them in the right ball, get them in the right part of the lane, and then kind of let loose. And so Mel, we're almost at the year anniversary. We did it at the MEAC conference match that was home for us last year in Greensboro. And we leave in a couple days to, that same event is actually in Norfolk. But, between Lauren, who's had two this season, and Mel had hers last year, I think, I'm pretty sure we hadn't had a player shoot 300 prior to that in the program's history. So we're really proud of both of them.
No question about it. We are here with head coach Kim Terrell Kearney, her husband, Eric Kearney, and we're going to get into the love thing a little bit after we talk about the season, so we're going to jump into that pretty soon. I've heard stories, but we're going to get the truth.
Oh, no.
How it all happened, how it all came together here, no question about it. But Mel, I want to ask you for just a quick second. Mm-hmm. You're approaching a perfect game. What is the mindset? Because I'm thinking in baseball, they don't talk to the pitcher who has a no-hitter going. Like, you can't talk to him. Like, that's the sin to actually talk to him. But for you, what is that like, going through that moment when you're about to approach perfection?
Well, honestly, it wasn't anything different than just bowling a regular game. I think what helped me go through it was I had my teammates to talk to. So honestly, most of the time I was distracted because I was having side conversations like, how many fans are in the bowling alley? Like, I like to distract myself, because if I get too caught up in my game, then I overthink things and it just goes downhill. But yeah, like that whole time, like I didn't realize until the 10th frame. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep talking to Katie. And then she just was like calming me down before every shot. And then it all kind of just worked out.
Outstanding. That's amazing. 3 in a year. It's absolutely incredible. So today in the office, Mel had us tripping, right? Because she's giving us all these bowling things, right? Right, Shamaya? Like we were tripping, So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know this. When you get hot, your thumb gets bigger.
Yes.
Like it doesn't fit the ball, right? So who knew that? And then when you get cold, your thumb apparently gets smaller. So the ball fits differently. So none of us were, we were flabbergasted by all of that. So for you, Kim, kind of what are some of the things about bowling that are unique that people probably maybe don't understand, don't know? Because we were tripping today. Like we were totally just floored out of our some of the stuff she was saying to us about bowling was crazy.
I mean, if you think about like in the wintertime or when it's cold outside, your ring's much looser, so your hands swell. It has a lot to do with also what you put in your body, what you've eaten and salt content and all of that. But I think what's unique about our game that most people don't know, because we have sort of an invisible playing field, right? Like you can see the lane, you see the arrows, you see the pins, but most folks don't know that on that wooden surface, on that lane, synthetic wood, whatever it may be, they have there's an oil machine, a lane machine that goes down and it puts out oil in, and Eric can help me on this because now I'm stumbling a little bit, but there's a pattern that they can design and it goes on top of the lane. So we can have oil on these boards and not on these. It can be a higher volume in the middle and a lower volume on the outside. And how they distribute that oil on a lane will determine the scoring pace. And so what you see when you walk into a commercial bowling center, what somebody bowls league on is often very different than what you see the professionals bowling on or what you'll see collegiate bowling, what we're competing on. It's much more difficult. It's a much flatter surface. And so there's not a lot of help when you have the friction to the right. If you happen to miss and throw the ball, miss your target and miss right, the friction helps it come back to the pocket. When they have a big buildup in the middle, if you happen to miss your target to the left, it kind of stays on line. So there's sort of built-in help where our patterns are much flatter. So whatever you do to it, that's either a consequence or a benefit.
Wow.
Did I explain that okay?
Absolutely.
I hope that made some sense. But that's the hardest part. And it's forever changing. Like every time a ball goes down the lane, that oil is moving around. And so once you figure it out, it's not figured out for the day or even for the game. It can change. You're forced to move almost every few frames, if not every frame. And so that's really like all the discussion and conversation that you see between us and the players. It's like, all right, is it time to change balls? Is it time to move? Do I need to throw it harder? Do I need to change my hand position? Those are all, you're just trying to make educated guesses to stay in front of the transition and the change that's happening.
Outstanding. Shamaya, we heard scoring pace today. That was
Yeah.
Yeah. We know what that is now. Scoring pace explained to us as well. So we are bowling. Yeah, we know it now. We got to hit the pockets. We got to hit, you can't hit the dry spot, it might,
Exactly.
So, man, we ready. We ready. Speaking of ready, we got a home tournament. The unique thing about our bowling is that you guys are not here in front of the home crowd a lot. You spend a lot of your tournaments on the road. Tell us about the Stallings Invitational, kind of how it came about, and just how excited you guys are. I know we got the MEACs, but I just kind of want to get to that home tournament there coming up.
Sure. The Stallings Invitational is named after the first bowling coach at A&T, NCAA bowling coach at A&T, Vernell Stallings. Coach Stallings was the director of the student union when you and I were at A&T, Brian.
Long time ago.
And so Coach Stallings has been a staunch supporter of not only North Carolina A&T, but also the bowling program ever since he retired, a few years ago. So as a tribute to him, we have named our invitational tournament, our yearly invitational tournament, the Stallings Invitational. And so in that way, it will continue his legacy, here at A&T, in perpetuity.
And how important is it that because you guys have been very successful in that tournament, and it's my understanding that you get to choose your own pattern as it pertains to the strength of your bowlers. I'm so educated now. As it pertains to the strength of your bowlers. So how important is that tournament for you guys to be able to, because you guys have been one of the most successful programs on our campus, how important is it that you were able to showcase the talent on your team?
Yeah, it is very important, to us as a program, as well as to the university. I mean, as you said, we're one of the more successful programs on campus, and so our kids are looking forward every single year to showcase their talents to their friends and to their family, and how important it is to showcase, our top 5 ranking, to our home fans and family. So the Stallings Invitational is exactly what Coach Stallings has wanted it to be. We're bringing in 8 out of the top 10 teams in the country to participate this year in the Stallings Invitational. So it will be a true test of our abilities as well.
Talking to North Carolina A&T Bowling, reigning 2-time MEAC Bowl of the Year, Melanie Caton is with us. The head coach, Kim Terrell Kearney, is with us. Her husband, Eric Kearney, also her assistant, is also with us. The Aggies are 62-24, 8-0 in the MEAC. Talk about this weekend, how important that is for you guys to you've kind of been dominant in the you've been dominant in the MEAC for a number of years now. Talk about the landscape of the MEAC and just kind of what you guys are expecting this weekend.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate that the MEAC has been kind enough to allow A&T's women's bowling program to remain a part. We're an affiliate member now. This weekend is important for lots of reasons. We're certainly trying to win the regular season. We're trying to, as we approach the MEAC championships, position ourselves as the top seed. So we have what appears, but doesn't always pan out, a little bit of an easier road rather to the television show and to the championship round. As we are heading towards the postseason, like wins are what matter. And so making sure that we continue to stay on top of our game and competitive is really the most thing and we're in preparation for the following week too. And so Mel can speak to that. The MEAC, there's good programs. We have to make sure that we are paying close attention and we're present every single match because we don't want to find ourselves, we're not way ahead. I mean, 8-0 sounds great, but I think someone's 7-1. And so we have to make sure that we don't lose any ground there.
8-0 does sound great.
Yes.
Reigning MEAC champion sounds really good. And national champion would sound even better.
Yes.
I know I've talked to you the last couple of years, and that's kind of like, that's where you are. I mean, that's where your mind is the national championship. And then you look at, Katie Robb has won MEAC Player of the Week. Chloe Newberry has done it. Lauren Tomaszewski is one of the best anchors in the country. There's no question about that. I got my good friend down there, Caton, who has certainly done her thing here at North Carolina A&T. As you look at your team, and, we got the Jacksonville States, you got the Nebraskas, you got the Arkansas States. Those are some of your Youngstown State, those are some of your top teams. As you've been able to look at things over the last few tournaments, what do you see yourself right now as March approaches?
Want me to do it? You got it?
Yeah, sure. You got it.
Oh, okay. As March approaches. I think we have, this is probably third, fourth year where we've done our work up till this point, right? So we feel like we feel comfortable, hopefully, that that we'll get a bid to, the regional, the first round. We haven't found a way to get out of that first round. And so we have spent this entire year, from the minute we left New York, I feel like last year, to figure out what's missing. What do we need to do? What are the things that they're doing better that we're not? And so we're always, there's not a week that goes by that we're not trying to address those weaknesses. Our strengths have gotten stronger. I think we're better players physically, where repeatability is better. But there's things that we still need to continue to get better at. Some of that is just, lately we've been talking a lot about our mental game and the stamina that's involved in a long day of competing, and finding a way to make sure that, it's each match is an hour. We're there for 5-6 hours a day, just one after another. Finding a way to not sort of fade out, go away a little bit, and look up and go, shoot, we're down in this match. We need to figure this out. This is the best group I've ever seen. When their backs are against the wall, like, they just show up, and it's impressive and it's cool. But sometimes I think we have relied on it a little too much, and so figuring out how to fight from up front, to lead the pack, is something that we're improving on. I think we've definitely improved on this year too.
Listen, as long as we got Lauren at the anchor, I'm, I feel good about it. I just feel good about it. I feel like I'm just never worried. Like, I feel like she's gonna strike it out and we'd be good. So,
Brian, we love Lauren, but we want to win it before we get there.
Right.
We want to win it before we get there.
But you are right.
You are right.
Far one of the, if not the best anchor. Like, we are lucky to have somebody that has no fear when it comes down to it. Like, she is like, give me the ball. Like, let me do this. It's really quite a sight to see. I'm not sure I've watched a lot of bowling in my life. I haven't seen that many people that are just that solid. It's quite a scene.
And to do it in different ways.
Yeah.
And to do it in different ways. I mean, there's been times when we've needed her to strike out. There's been times when, she hasn't struck and we just needed a spare, and, she left something that was pretty difficult. And all of a sudden now she's made this, incredible split, right? And it was to win a game or to win a match. There's an innate ability to just kind of calm her mind and make it happen. And so we're very fortunate to have her there.
No question. We're all fortunate. Aggie Pride, no doubt.
Aggie Pride.
Yeah, I'd much rather have her. Shout out to head football coach Vincent Brown checking in with us. He's called the bowling program excellent, and says the program represents excellence. So shout out to Coach Brown. Great recruiting class. The signing day, and looking forward to spring football coming up here. So thank you, Coach. Thank you for checking in. And Harold Carrillo says the A&T women's programs are carrying the athletics department. So there's that. Shout out to the women's basketball team, no doubt. They're the number one team, tied for number one in the CAA, doing their thing. Certainly track and field has done their thing for many, many years. All right, so let's get now that we passed all the preliminaries. Melanie Caton has some questions for us. I think she's going to get into some relationship issues here. So the floor is yours, Melanie. Do your thing.
All right. So, because it's Valentine's Day, I wanted you guys to discuss, talk about, when you guys first met, and, what did you guys do for your first Valentine's Day?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
do you remember?
We can do when we first met. I don't know.
I don't know what we did for the first Valentine's Day. However,
break up a happy home. That's a long,
Yeah. That was a long time ago. Yeah. Coach Kim tells a much more condensed version than I do. So she was a professional bowler, and obviously I knew who she was because I was also a bowler. We were represented by the same manufacturing staff. So we both were on staff contracts with the Ebonite brands. She was on a professional contract. I was on an amateur contract at the time. We met at a conference in Vegas, and I was able to procure her services to do a demonstration.
Scary, right? I know.
Is it going the wrong way, Brian? No, seriously.
He put out a school word.
We were doing a ball demonstration in Washington, D.C. She had a lot of fans there, and I was operating a pro shop there in D.C. and I was able to ask Ebonite to fly her out, and we did a ball demonstration to sell a lot of bowling balls. And it was something that that started our relationship. We hit it off there in DC. We went to the movies the night before she flew back to California, and I have spoken to her every single day since she sent me cookies to say thank you for a good time.
Do you remember what movie it was?
Ray.
Yep, we went to see Ray.
Oh, I don't know
Like
what
9
it is.
p.m.
9 p.m. It was 11:30. It was the 11:30 show. Yes. It was the 11:30 show in Georgetown, DC.
That's like a 3-hour movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was 11:30.
That's a long movie. That's a long movie. Good move, Eric. Good move. That was a
Yes,
long
sir. Yes, sir. Best move of my life.
movie. No doubt. Procured. I like that, man. Yeah.
Fancy word.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's using words like that to get you a good woman, man. You know.
Hey, I got a good education.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. What else you got, Melanie?
Shout out to Merrick Hall.
Can you say what your favorite memory from being an A&T coach? Out of all the years of being an A&T coach, what's your favorite memory with the bowling team?
You did say these will be hard. Oh, Mel.
I'm your favorite, Coach Kim. Come on.
Melanie likes to battle with another player as to who my favorite is. Although Melanie, you have been significant in our rise here at this program, so we are grateful to have you. Melanie is also from California. I am loving the people that have put her in our path so that she could come here and make such a big difference, because she has. My favorite memory. That's hard.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I can I just do my favorite memory this year?
Yeah, do this year. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you know. Yeah.
God, that's hard. I always feel like our very first tournament of the year is always at Tulane. And so we go to New Orleans, and I always remind our freshmen, I go, it's not always this much fun, but we go to New Orleans, we go down to the French Quarter, we get beignets. I think that is such a special time, just really starting the year off in a way that reminds them that it's like we get to create good memories. It's not all about winning and losing. It's about the time that we spend together and the relationships that we're forming. And so I love those trips that we've taken to the French Quarter. Melanie can our sweet little Mel's a little scary. And we went to the Quarter after COVID. This probably get me in trouble. I always say let me be
That's
quiet.
my favorite memory. No, that's my favorite memory.
Oh, gosh.
So we parked and we drove, we were walking through trying to get to Cafe Du Monde down there by the water. And it happened to be the first parade that they had after COVID. So it's always close to Halloween. So it was their Halloween parade. And this little scary girl, I think she cried the whole way there. And
No, okay. It wasn't on the way there. It wasn't on the way there.
It's like it's Mardi Gras. Like, these people are happy to be back outside, and she is terrified.
Oh,
Because we had makeup on, like I couldn't see their face, and they were like all dressed up, scary, and I just hated it. I'm surprised I didn't rip Coach Eric's shirt off.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Melanie had a grip on me that was pretty tight. That's for sure.
No, that, and then the other one that I didn't like was the what was it? The bullfighting.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, we went to the rodeo in Fort Worth, and that got a little hairy.
Yeah, we didn't.
No, I thought we were gonna watch horses run around a track. That is what I thought. I was wrong.
The rodeo was.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That was something.
Yeah.
First of all, I need to switch my schedule so I can travel to bowling. Shamaya, what is going on? French Quarters and rodeos?
I know.
Man, they took us up in the Ark when I went to St. Louis with them, but
Sorry.
Okay,
It's getting better, Brian. You need to travel more.
I need to travel more. Yeah, I need to get out more. You're right about that, no doubt. So, yeah, kudos to the bowling team, man, for all the fun they have on traveling trips, man. No wonder they're so good. So outstanding. So I want to get back to the cookies.
Oh,
The cookies.
Yeah. So Shamaya, a woman bakes for a man. What does that mean?
What's that?
When a woman bakes for a man, what does that mean?
I didn't make them.
No.
No.
Oh, you bought them.
No.
I have them from a cookie place in LA. I didn't make them. No. They were good.
They were good. They were good.
Somebody else baked them. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they were. Shout out to Snooki's Cookies.
I don't think they're. I think they've gone out of business, but it was a good cookie company. You love those cookies.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
No doubt. Shout out to Odell Benders, one of our North Carolina A&T Sports Hall of Famers, track and field. Glad you're listening. We got a Thomas Jeske in here, Kelly, giving us a shout out. Enjoying us today. So certainly thank you for joining the Aggie Pridecast today. No question about it. So I guess we can get back to bowling here now that we've finished all the, Eric, I've heard a couple of other stories about how you guys met, but we'll leave that, undiscovered to the public audience.
The autograph for your book.
Listen, our common friends have big mouths.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is
But listen, it was all positive. You came off very smooth. You came off very smooth. So
well, then they don't have big mouths.
But I do want to ask you guys, what is it like to work together? What is it like, husband and wife working together, recruiting together, doing all those things? What is that like for you guys? Business side and then the home side, and raising the kids and all that kind of stuff. So, kind of, what is that dynamic like for you guys?
You want to speak to that, Mel? You have to live on it. It's not as smooth as you would think.
No, it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
We know, I know that as a coach, she brings the best out of me. I mean, she challenges me to learn the game and to continue to learn the game. I was pretty knowledgeable before we got to this point, but my knowledge since we have continued to work together, and this is our 10th year together, has been exponential. Not just from the information that she possesses, but also the resources in our industry that she possesses and that I can tap into. And so it's with that, I take that challenge seriously and I go out and I seek information. Sometimes I bring that information back and then philosophies collide at that point, because I have a way of thinking and a way of, if you want to say, attacking the lanes.
A way of being pretty sure he's right all the time.
Yeah, I'm confident in what I'm seeing, right?
You're right all the time. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So I'm confident in what I'm seeing, and there are times when we're competing that the philosophies don't necessarily line up, and I have to relent and say, we'll go with the way that that you think we should go, because obviously this is your team, but I'm going to give her I'm going to give her the information that I see as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're different. I think anyone that knows the both of us, our personalities are pretty different. Eric is very extroverted, and he's got, it's big, the volume, the laugh, all of it is like, I'm here. It's very Aggie. I think is what I would say. It's very Aggie. And it's important to have balance, I believe, very much in your coaching staff. And so he brings some really important things to our days of competition and our practices and our program. And there are times, yes, very much, where we don't always see eye to eye in how I want to handle things, how I want to confront things. But it's an important, it's a delicate, but it is a balance that we have figured out. Like, certainly winning makes it all much easier. So the more we win, like, we have a blast on those weekends. The weekends we don't win, the girls can go, but we, he has made us better as well. And I think it's important. We're pretty, I think we're an amazing team when we're recruiting. I do love that. Like, we did a Zoom last night with a young lady from Hawaii, who is one of the best players in the country in the class of 2025. And, we tag team that so well because, he gets to talk about his experience being here as a student and all of the pride that he possesses, because when you are an Aggie, you have a lot of pride. And he brings all of that. We always joke about that before I came here, before I had been to A&T and he had moved to California, and I would watch, and, this pride for his school was so beyond anything that I had ever seen. And I used to think, I was like, Eric, you are just being Eric. And then I got here and I was like, you are like everyone, like you are no different than ever. It was, and it's so hard and difficult to explain and to share with people. I know you guys probably have that feeling, and that, but it is such an amazing place to be and be a part of. And, it's so funny to watch the two of us try to explain to a recruit, like what they're about to walk into, the love, the support, all the things that you get when you come to school here, and what you get to become a part of. And so,
but they get a chance to go home feeling it, and more times than not they do.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to our university. That's a testament to those who want the best for our university, because those folks that we introduce our recruits to, hold a lot of sway in their decision. And at no point have we been disappointed in the people that we've introduced our recruits to. And so more times than not, we've gotten the kids that we've targeted.
Because of the visit.
Because of
the time they've spent visiting with Mr. Hilton or with Kristen Shin, our academic advisor, or, whatever department we happen to visit. It's because they have created such a place of comfort, safety, welcome, whoever you are, whatever you are. And so we love that most about being here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have answered any of the questions. I don't even know where we started, but
yeah. You guys answered the question, and then you gave like extra credit and everything. I'm sitting here like spellbound, like, wow. Yeah, they're good. But we got a recruiting question in the queue, so did want to kind of transition back to that. But I wanted to kind of ask, how do you go from head coach, assistant coach to mom and dad?
It's not difficult. Ava and Nicholas have grown up in this, and shout out to Nicholas, our son, who's 24 and recent graduate of North Carolina A&T State University. Okay. So, but there's a rhythm that you get, and you kind of fall into it. Kim takes Ava to school in the morning. I pick Ava up from school in the afternoon. There's a rhythm that you kind of fall into now that Nicholas is available to us. He takes care of Ava pretty much on the weekends that we're both traveling, as opposed to her having to go over to a cousin's house or to a friend's house. So he is a blessing to us, and we kind of fall into a rhythm every single week. And so it's not difficult, but I like to say Kim is an elite coach, and she's an elite mom, and she does what's necessary for both.
Thank you.
Told you guys, Eric is smooth. I told you. I told y'all, man. Y'all sleeping. Yeah, he's smooth cat, man. Yeah, I heard stories. Shout out to Bill Jeffers. He wants to know how is recruiting going. We can't keep Melanie and Lauren here forever, so
we're trying.
We want to know how recruiting is going for North Carolina A&T bowling.
So I'll start, and we'll let Eric jump in a little bit. So, as we have gotten better, right? We are now at a position where we can bring in the best kids in the country. We used to think like, we start winning, people will want to come. It wasn't automatic. But now I think with, the kind of the consistent success that we've had, we're starting to bring in the best kids. And, our class of 2024, we have an amazing young lady. Her name is Victoria White. Victoria was, I would say, the number one kid in this class. And she has decided to come to A&T. She's a two-handed player. She's our first two-hander. She's from St. Louis. She is amazing. So we are really excited about Victoria coming. The 2025 class is the strongest class that I have ever seen in the sport of bowling. And so we are actively trying to get those kids to come visit and, fall in love with A&T the way Melanie did and get them to be a part of this. So we are actively, this is probably the most active that we have had to be in recruiting. It's not always been my strength. I will say that. I used to believe when they want to come, I'll make them better. We'll be good. But there's just too much talent out there, and we got to get our hands on it. And so we are. I think we've done a really nice job.
Yeah. We had kids that wanted to come here and have come to us like a Melanie Caton and trusted us because they could have gone somewhere else. And they said, we believe in your program and we also believe in your school. And so, Melanie came to us. Melanie was highly recruited, national, won a bunch of tournaments and continues to win a bunch of tournaments, in the California area. And so she gave us a shot. And I can remember when we were sitting in the office, in the business office, and she said, I think it's good. I think I want to go here. And so that was a big moment for us because Melanie was a highly recruited athlete, in the bowling industry. So those become dominoes. And when you make a good bowler great, the great bowlers think you can make them even better. And so we are lucky that the university is what it is. There's no denying its standing in the world. And now we've matched that with the bowling program.
Outstanding. Man, I wish we had air recruiting for all of our sports, man. He's got that Aggie language down, man.
I'm telling you, his golf cart ride for the recruit, I mean, that sold me. What sold me.
Thanks. Good to know, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
I love you too. I mean, I saw both of you as I saw them both as a second mom and dad to me. But I just loved both of your energies. And then I fell in love, with the campus and how pretty it was. And so I was like, oh, I have to come.
Wow. That's deep. Second mom and dad. That's pretty special. That's pretty good.
Yes. I'm their adopted kid.
Without a doubt.
So Melanie, when did you start feeling that Aggie pride vibe? When did it start to feel good to you?
I can tell you the exact moment.
Right.
It was our very first home tournament. I went up to Coach Eric. I was like, I know what it feels like now. I was so excited. I can't describe the feeling, like Coach Kim said, but I can tell, I knew that was the moment. It was the moment.
Yes, no question.
Arrogant
Aggies, that's what they call us. That's what we are. So
I want to tell this real quick. I like to tell this story. We had made the MEAC television show on ESPNU, and one of our players, alumni, her name is Anna Olaija. And Anna was, they were interviewing her and she was as shy as she could be. She's from Colombia. Her English is perfect. So it wasn't like a language barrier. She was just being pretty shy, understandably, at 19, being on national TV. And they asked her what Aggie pride meant. And she went, it means this, Aggies do. I mean, every tagline we've ever had, she was like, it's this, and this. And it was a cool moment to see, to know that they feel a part of this university. They feel a part of this athletic department, part of this community. And at the same time, what we love most about being here is that how welcome and celebrated we are. We know bowling as a sport, people don't all necessarily respect or understand, but at A&T they do. At A&T they celebrate our kids. Our kids are on billboards. when they're on the banners in front of the football stadium when we win the MEAC. And so that is one of the greatest things I've bowled all my life. And I have never felt as recognized, I feel like, and I try to remind these guys of this because it won't always be, because it's just the reality of it, and they need to embrace it. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
That was my 2 cents.
Hey, shout out to Anna, another former intern of mine from the bowling team. So shout out to Anna. Love Anna. No question about it. So love having bowling players as my interns. No question. They're the best. Manu Moon Kennedy says, how can we support North Carolina A&T bowling?
You go. I'm out.
It's the views that you participate when we're competing and watching us on Facebook. Obviously you can give to the AAF and earmark it for bowling, but it's really what Coach Kim just said. It's making sure that we're seen, and it's making sure that we're celebrated. We're the number 4 ranked team in the country, and that's across all divisions. So, and we've been as high as number 2 in the country, just last year. So it's making sure that we're seen. It's showing up at the tournaments and following us when we're in, and coming out and supporting when we're in Texas or, in Dallas, or when we're in Houston, or when we're in New Orleans or Baltimore. Shout out to the Baltimore alumni, and shout out to the Northern Virginia alumni and DC alumni, coming out and rooting us on. That's how you help. I mean, obviously financially it will always need that support.
I'm grateful for that.
And we're grateful for that. But it's when you show up in the centers and we're not there alone. That's when it's great.
That's
well
good.
Said.
That's good. Wanted to ask, as we get closer and closer to April, how's the season kind of start to break down for you guys? Because you guys kind of have, the trifecta. You kind of have MEAC, you have conference, NCAA's, ITC starts to come up, US also starts to become a factor. So how do you do you look too far ahead to Youngstown State, or do you kind of stay focused in the moment? How do you kind of departmentalize everything that's going on with the championships that you have coming up?
It's a long season. We start, our preseason starts when they walk on campus, and then, the beginning of our season is October 1st, and the NCAA championships is the second week in April. So making sure that we have found some balance, that we have not overworked them. It takes everything we have at the end of the season they're burnt, they're tired, right? And we've got to figure out how, as a coaching staff, as a team, we've got to give it everything we have left. And so I think it's always that balance, especially right around now, because it's, everybody's, school's starting to really, ramp up, and, we're midterms, and, we're on the road a lot. We're on the road almost always. And so we'll go these 3 weeks in a row and try and catch our breath before we hit postseason. And so it's, we spend a little less time on the lanes and a little more time painting and eating and having team dinners over here and whatever we have to do to keep it fresh and keep them engaged. That's just the truth, right, Mel? I mean, you would say it's always, you would never know it. You would never know that they're on Tuesday, they're walking in, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because on Friday, they show up like, where are we going? Where's our trophy?
Thank you to Ulysses Cozart for this question. Transitions into it greatly. The MEAC tournament is in Raleigh, hometown. Yes, I love it. Go up to see my mom, see some bowling. But talk about the MEAC tournament and just kind of what it means to you guys. And we have a question here about local events. So that's certainly close, Raleigh. And so talk about having the MEAC tournament kind of in your own backyard.
Yeah, that's hopefully it's a blessing to us. We want all that Aggie support that's possible. The MEAC is obviously, the conference that we're competing in, current three-peat champions. And so we would love for it to be, a four-peat at this point. And but it won't be easy. And we certainly want, all the support and everyone to show up and see what we can do. I mean, because this group is a really, really talented group. It will be the end of an era, when Mel and Lauren and our good graduate, player, Katie Robb, transition, out of the program. And so we want to celebrate them. And that's what Raleigh will mean to us.
Outstanding. Shout out to Sylvester Ray, who is also watching us. Didn't want to miss out on them. And as we get ready to go out of here, give us a little this or that, Shemai.
Yes, so today is Valentine's Day. So would you prefer a surprise date or set plans?
Set.
Yeah. So movie theater or Netflix and chill, considering that y'all first date was to the movies.
Oh, it's absolute movies.
I love the movies.
It's absolute movies. Absolute movies.
So a fancy restaurant or a home cooked meal?
Fancy restaurant.
Pizza. It doesn't need to be fancy, but I don't want to cook.
Well, she's a good cook. She's a good cook.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Roses or sunflowers?
He always gets me roses.
Yeah.
But I like sunflowers. That's
There
a
we
great
go.
one.
Right.
You learn something every day.
I'm learning that. Hey, sunflowers.
Sunflowers it is next year.
Sunflowers it is.
Sunflowers.
Words of affirmation or acts of service?
Oh, love language. I like that.
Oh, love languages.
Acts of service.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, acts of service.
Okay, quality time or receiving gifts?
Quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So a practical gift or a sentimental gift?
Oh, practical.
See, I'm sentimental.
Gotta be something.
We need a new fridge, Shabaya.
Yeah. So the other day I said, hey, might want to start looking for another fridge. This one's, it's old enough. She lit up.
Served his time.
She lit up. She was like, really?
I thought we were going to wait for it to completely go out, but I'm happy about it now. Let me look.
There it is. It has to go out before I get it. Replace it.
I understand.
It's got to go out before yeah, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Too cheap.
He
Go ahead,
has to
Shimon.
window shop. I don't need to window shop. I'm going to look that. I don't need to wait. If you're going to have me look, you better get it. Just make me look and then wait it out.
Now I'm with you, Kim. Now, if I'm going shopping, I'm going to buy something.
Yeah.
My wife goes to look, and I'm like, well, I'm just not really into looking. I just want to buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that one.
I will research it to death.
Oh, sorry. We're different.
So explore a new city or relax on a tropical island?
For me, it's relax on a tropical island. I don't need to go anywhere.
I like to learn new things.
See? Yin, yang.
That's what makes it work.
Right.
Make it work. Yeah. No question.
So I have a question that one of your players told me would be good because you always ask them. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
You go.
And why?
Oh, Melanie,
Oh,
zip it.
Melanie. I would go back to Japan. That was where we went for our honeymoon, and we had a great time. I'd go back. I loved it. I loved Tokyo. We stayed in a traditional Japanese hotel. Very traditional, and at the base of a mountain, and it was Amazing. Yeah, it had hot springs and the whole deal. It was amazing.
I was bowling a tournament there. We're not quite that big time.
Yeah, we
are. Oh, we are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, y'all are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
We're that big time. I will say Japan is my favorite country to visit. I've been fortunate enough to have gone a number of times. Really, always bowling though. Like so much of our life has been just wrapped around bowling, and Melanie could talk about that a lot. Even at her age, you don't go too many places without bowling bags, and it's so nice as a grown adult to get to do things. I don't want to copy, but I feel like Japan is, I used to always say Greece. I've never been to Greece. I always wanted to go to Greece. I don't like heights. And the more like as beautiful as it is, I feel like there's a lot of cliffs and things going on that may not suit me. So I'm gonna stick with Japan a little bit too.
But I wrote down Greece, B.
You wrote down Greece?
I wrote down Greece.
Phenomenal guy, man. You went back to Japan, the honeymoon. I love that about you, man. You're just a sentimental guy.
Yeah, it's real.
He is. It's real.
It's real.
It's real and smooth. I want to add that too.
He's so smooth when we're working together. Right? Mel was laughing. She's like, "Oh, he's so aggressive."
Shout out to Chantel Fleming. She said these are the best two bowling coaches. Shout out to Warren Mitchell, Aggie Pride. David is also watching us. So just wanted to say thanks for you guys for joining us here tonight. We've had a blast. I mean, it's been good talking a little North Carolina A&T bowling, championship team. They've brought the hardware home here at North Carolina A&T many, many times, and we're just hoping and praying we can get to that national championship stage, no question. Did you have another dish to that, Shamaya?
Yes. So since movies is very popular, romantic comedy or action or drama?
I am 100%
rom-com.
I love me. I need somebody to be in love in my movies, and I like to laugh. And he joins me in them.
And I will watch the rom-com. That is for sure.
It's not his thing.
That is for sure. I do have a quick story. So we do go to the movies. Sorry, we go to the movies one time, and it's a Denzel movie, and we go see The Equalizer, and she doesn't realize that it's not a Denzel movie. It's an action movie, right? And she's like, "I'm not sure I knew that this was going to be what it really is." And I went, "Sit back and relax, sweetie. It'll be fine."
Is there any more violent movies than Denzel's Equalizer movies?
No. Those were very violent. Yeah, no question.
Yeah. But it was a Denzel movie. See how I got it at B?
No question. You say Denzel or Usher, you can get a woman anywhere.
Anyway,
Denzel or Usher, you can get them anywhere. Yeah,
that's right.
No question. Well, I want to know who's the best driver.
I'm not a good driver.
Coach Kim, I'm always in your car when we're traveling.
The girls, they don't even want to drive it. Like there's, most of the time we have the bus, but when we fly and we have the red cars, they run to his car. And it's not because I can't drive. He is way more fun. The music is better. I get it. Like he's way more fun. And poor sweet little Melody, she'll come on over with me. Those quiet girls come sit in my bed. They laugh. They look back and they're like, "You guys don't ever look like you're having fun."
No, because
they're bumping and
Coach Kim, you told me I can't sing because you're trying to listen to the navigation.
Well, that's true too. Mel knows every song on the radio, and she's just singing away, and I'm like, I don't know where we're going. Stop.
I would like to think an Aggie would have Outkast blasting in the car. Maybe
you know that's right.
Okay, all right.
You know that's right. I am a '90s Aggie. There's going to be cast.
Yeah, thank you. That's always appreciated, no doubt. Give me one more, Samaya.
One more. So, brunch date or a dinner date?
Oh, that's brunch all day. Brunch. I'm talking. I know where this is going. It's brunch.
It is always.
I know where this is going. Brunch.
No question about it. North Carolina A&T bowling, outstanding program, number 4 in the country, 62-24 this season. Do yourself a favor, go to youtube.com, put in the search Kim Terrell. She was a bad girl. She was a bad lady, man. She was good. Go look at her. 8-time Hall of Famer, I believe. And we are just lucky to have her. We're lucky to have the Kearneys with us, and they're doing an outstanding job. And, we wish them all the best as the MEAC tournament approaches. Go out to see them out there at Stallings Invitational as well, 23rd to the 25th. You won't be disappointed. They do an outstanding job, outstanding coaches, outstanding players. And, we're lucky to have that program in our arsenal. Thank you for joining us. It was great to be back. Shamaya, appreciate you, this or that. Melanie, see you in the office tomorrow. And coaches, Aggie Pride to you.
Aggie Pride.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.